Hello, remember me?
We're back.
Yep. The
Okay. Oh,
After you.
what I'm going to tell you is Melody's been working herself to death. So we want to stop that. So what we're going to do is Melody and I will be here every other week. I will be here on the weeks where Melody is taking a break. So you'll have a little less Melody, you'll have the same amount of show, but that's what we're going to do because it's just Melody was. I don't know what that noise was.
That was Twitch,
Oh,
which sounds like a
it's
fart. I know.
so. Uh, anyway, so that way Melody can continue with the show because she was seriously thinking of not continuing with the show because this was just getting to be too much for her. So we're going to do this. We're going to scale her role back enough so she can rest up and be energetic on the weeks when she is here. And she may decide, hey, there's something I want to talk about. I'll be there. So you may get some surprise melody. But
God knows when I get a burr up my saddle, I can be
she has a
very.
burr. She has a burr up her saddle today. She wants to
Yeah, I
talk
do.
about something. So we'll get to that in a minute. Uh, it was pretty special for my company, which you know is Red Digital Cinema. We premiered a new camera, and it has hit the entertainment industry by storm. They love it. It's got all sorts of additions to it. We had 300 of them ready to ship, and we sold 300 cameras on Wednesday, which was the premiere of the camera. So we are currently sold out. And keep in mind, that's not a cheap camera. it's it's around $15,000 for the camera, but it's a professional movie camera. It's they shoot things like Guardians of the Galaxy with it, so it's not for taking your kids pictures at the park on the weekend. Although if you want to, it'll take some really good pictures of the kids. But you got to have a little cash. But
Yeah.
it's an excellent camera, and we're working to make some more of them. So if you want to order one, you'll get it before too long. Uh, so we made a pretty good chunk of change on Wednesday, which is good because they need to write me my paychecks.
Yes.
I'm wearing headphones today because we were getting feedback from Melody. She was hearing herself talk. So the way to get rid of that is for her audio to not come out next to my microphone because that's what was going on. So anyway, would
Uh,
you like to say something, Melody? You haven't said anything yet.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I have said things.
Oh,
You know. But I'm. I think everybody knows uh, been taking it on the chin from a number of people. And when you're a writer, and I was just talking to my therapist about this, if you can write, if you have a following of any kind, you'll get all the jerks who don't and can't, but they're good at grammar, come after you. And it's been, just awful.
who has
So,
been who has been bothering you?
oh, I'll give you names off camera.
Okay, after the show, you tell me who's been bothering you.
And they're jerks. I mean, everybody has somebody. And my friend Lisa Smith, who wrote the Vampire Diaries novels when they were good, had,
Are you saying they're not good anymore?
yes, I
Oh,
know.
okay. Hey, there you go.
I'm saying they suck now. But I'm sorry, I read one. I'm going, What? Huh? Just because they didn't want to pay Lisa $1 more? But anyway, the Lisa has an entire bulletin board. Do they still call them that? Forum. An entire forum that's nothing but people bitching her out. So it, I got nothing on that. So, but anyway, we'll get past it. And oh, look at that! It's a camera.
Oops. I didn't intend for that to go on the screen yet.
Okay, it's okay.
Well, since I did, let me show you. This is the new camera. So this is the Komodo X.
They
Okay.
used to be huge.
Well,
Movie cameras
oh
were.
yeah. And there's and oh everybody, Melanie and I are going to be on here live for 28 minutes.
Yeah,
And then at the 28-minute mark, I have a pre-recorded I
we
have a
went back.
pre yeah, I have a pre-recorded segment of the show that I was gonna play first. So you're going to get welcome to FanFleck again when I start the video. So I apologize,
So
but
you're very welcome.
yes, you are very welcome. Oh, here, let me show you something. Let's see. No, this I include on the other. Let's see here. No, yeah, this is the co-owner of our company,
Really?
Jared. Jared Land is the co-owner, and he is holding the camera.
Okay. I'll tell you later what he reminded me of, but
Be
um,
nice. He's my boss.
I know I'm being nice.
I wonder why this switches back to this mode when you
I don't
bring
know.
something on screen.
Well, let me try switching us the other way and see if that makes it more stable.
I did it. There we
Oh,
go.
okay. There we go. All right, let me do my little
Oh yes.
yeah. Um I watched a documentary recently. Menendez and Menudo, I think it's called. I believe it was either Netflix or Hulu. And or no, it might have been something. Let me look it up just to be sure because I don't want sending people going to Netflix unless they have to. Let's see. Mark, you can talk while I'm.
Oh, okay. I know absolutely almost nothing about this documentary. I'm sorry.
I know
I rem-
absolutely nothing about cameras.
I remember the Menendez brothers when they were young and they got into all sorts of hot water and were arrested for the murder of their parents. Whether they did it or not, I don't know, but the court system said they did. So,
I'm glad I looked it up. It Menendez plus Menudo. It is on Peacock, and the what we will find out is their attorney, who once said that they had resisted because they didn't want to get down on their knees, was correct. We now know that there was plenty of evidence that they were raped by their father as much or as little as 1 week before the man and his wife were murdered. They know that. They knew that then, they knew it, they know it now. And the the whole story of Menudo, even though I hadn't really known a lot about them, until I saw the documentary, is the story of child performers. That's what happens to child performers in far too many cases, including uh, one we have as a friend. Um, and if you look at the record, go look at a list of child performers and find how many died young, how many killed themselves, how many destroyed themselves with a life of crime. It's horrific. And both parties, um, with, as Mark pointed out, the Democratic Party being more culpable, um, have sort of accepted this 13-year-old rape culture. And people like Roman Polanski and monsters. The This has to stop. And if you are considering putting your children in the entertainment industry, please don't. Unless you can be there every day, 24/7, and keep a hold of the whole process. Don't trust anyone, even big stars, because a lot of big stars are pedophiles.
You want to
And
hear you want to hear about that? Listen to Corey Feldman.
oh, I have, yeah, but it's not nearly as. And usually the people they mention are ones who are fighting. I mean, Tom Hanks gets brought up. Tom Hanks is not a pedophile. He is often mentioned, I think, because he sort of, he doesn't sort of, he does drop a dime on anything that happens. Tommy Lee Jones, same thing. He always rats, so to speak, on anybody doing that kind of crap. And these people should be heralded and praised, not put down. But we have what we have. The media is culpable, um, but I just, I think, speaking as a victim of child molestation, it destroys your life. It destroys the foundation of your life. It makes you into a person you're not. And if you're lucky and you have good experiences as an adult, you can rebuild yourself, and that's what I've done. And the but not all people are that lucky, and some end up like my friend Denise Nickerson. She wasn't really a friend, but she was an acquaintance who played Amy on Dark Shadows. And just take a look at her background, and I think you can figure things out. It was no one on Dark Shadows, I can tell you that. And it wasn't anyone on uh, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But there are creeps all over the industry. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that the Menendez brothers definitely killed their parents. They should have gone to prison. However, had they been women or possibly some other ethnic group, they would be not there for what they're there for. They're serving time for first-degree murder. That wasn't first-degree murder. It was manslaughter or at most second-degree murder. And they had more than enough impetus during their lives to have been compelled to do something awful. And they did something awful. But his Menendez, the father's powerful friends, covered it up. And I'm sorry, but the lives of two people are more important than one dead pedophile. And Menendez was a pedophile. He molested most of the boys in Menudo, at least the ones that have been brave enough to come forward. And the story of Menudo is a story of children in the entertainment industry. It has to stop. It really does. And if it's not stopped, it needs to be stopped by the government. Maybe we can start dressing Danny DeVito up in children's clothes or something for a kid's part. But not that anything's wrong with Danny DeVito. He's a nice guy. But anyway, that's the whole of my diatribe. And I must say, my own experience was not. I was never in the professional end of entertainment. I was in the little theater part of it, but that wasn't a part of that. That was just my own family situation. But there are good people out there. My brother is a good man. My husband is a good man. There's plenty of good people. We just have to rely on the decency of most people to get us through. And where are we now? Are we at 28 minutes?
We're 12:17.
Oh, okay. So I can talk some more after I get a sip of my Diet Coke. Brown water, as Mark and I call it.
I like Coke. Although Coke is not as good as it used to be.
No.
See, now that's something, here we go, something for me to talk about. This is something that is not talked about.
All products.
Right, all products, but especially soda pop. They have altered soda pop. Used to be you could open a Coca-Cola and sit it on the counter, and you could come back 3 hours later and it was just as fizzy as it was when you sat it there. And that's not the case anymore. You open a Coke and a half hour later it's flat. So they've changed the formula. And this is not just Coca-Cola. This is all of them. Pepsi, Coke, every single one of them. Used to be it was against the law for companies to get together and make a decision about changing their product. That's not the case anymore because they all did it at the same time.
Yep.
For instance, I use these eye moistening drops ever since I had my cataract surgery. They told me to use, and they come in a little disposable vial. I don't know if you've ever seen them.
Yeah, I use.
And you break them off, and they used to be 1 ounce.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, every single brand made them 0.2 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, all of them at once reduced the size of their product. How could they possibly do that if they were not breaking the law?
And the government looks the other way. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, they obviously, it's called collusion. And they obviously did it because when the store brand at Target, when they changed, I went looking for another brand that was still the big size, and none of them were. Every single one of them changed the size at the same time. It is. I try to get onto this on Facebook. All these fraudulent ads on Facebook. Why Facebook? They're getting to the point now where if they disagree with something you posted, they block it where you can't get to it anymore. Used to be they gave you a warning,
Yeah.
but you could still go look at it if you wanted to. Not now. Now, if they don't like what you posted, they block it and you cannot look at it. It says you can, but you try. Try to look at it,
Yeah.
and you can't. And it's not Facebook's business to tell me what I can and can't look at.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not. Now, I realize it's their wall and they can control what you write on their wall,
Right.
and that's fine. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of other places to go besides Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
There's a thing called Gab.com, and it's identical to Facebook. If we all moved there at once, it would become Facebook. Of course, then Mark Zuckerberg would buy it, and he'd restrict what you could do.
Yeah,
See,
this is the issue. I mean, I think we have to go back to personal forums again. The old prodigy idea. But it, you know, getting back to the product thing, have you noticed that a Hershey bar just doesn't taste like a Hershey bar anymore?
no, of course not. It's not the same product.
And, I can understand maybe for health reasons, but by God, create that as a separate product and market it that way. Don't take away, if somebody wants a Hershey bar, and, when you've lost 200 pounds, as I have done,
You ought to be able to eat a damn Hershey bar if you
damn
want to.
straight. If
There you
I
go.
if I count the calories, I got it on. I ought to be able to have a Hershey bar, and they just aren't the same anymore.
None of them are.
Yeah, it's.
And
I mean,
they give you all this, there's supply chain issues, which is bullshit.
yeah,
They've decided what you can and can't eat.
yeah,
That's what it comes down to.
yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg has decided what you can eat.
Well, it's the and let's just not just put it on Zuckerberg. It's everybody. But
He's a big portion of it. See, the thing is, there's this that you are permitted and allowed free speech.
yeah,
That's a constitutional protection. Well, the problem is what speech is.
yeah,
The days of you being able to go to the park and stand on a box and give a speech and anybody listen to you are over.
yeah. Because they call the
Face,
police.
Facebook is speech.
Yeah,
Twitter is speech.
yeah.
Instagram is speech.
Art is.
This is where free speech happens, and it doesn't happen unless Mark Zuckerberg agrees with it.
Yeah. Well, the good part is, to give us some good news.
The good part.
Yeah, there's a good part aside from Zuckerberg, or sucker nerd as we used to call him. The Dr. Schindler, who made it to the list of Chinese enemies.
A Schindler's List.
Yeah, he was already on the Russians list of enemies. Now he's on the Chinese list of enemies. Anyway, but he said that one thing that people can do, as these people are doing this, slacking back on all the products, and is create their own and market. And he said, make your own chocolate bars. I said, I don't want to do that. He said, well, somebody else can do it. And
I have a question.
yes,
I have not brought that video in from StreamYard. It's in our videos. Is there a way to play it from StreamYard from this window?
I think, I believe there is.
Because I don't know how to do it. I've been
Okay.
looking here like, oh God, how am I going to bring in that video?
Well, let me see. Guys, this is how it works.
Yeah, because it only comes up with the stuff on my computer when I try to
Yeah, I'm not
present
seeing
it.
it here at all.
All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do is at the end of the show, we'll go like 30 minutes, and at the end of the show, we'll end this show, close it, end broadcast, and then I will play the video.
That's a
So
good idea.
you'll get 2 half-hour fan blacks for the price of one.
Which is pretty much what you always get.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be the future of what we do here. So we're going to talk about social issues, not a lot of politics. I'm just sick to death of it. When I realized
too.
I had been somehow persuaded to support John Edwards.
Well, I'll tell you, I subscribed to this newspaper.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if
Yes.
you've ever heard of it.
I have heard of it.
It's actually produced by the Chinese, but the Free Chinese it's
Yeah.
produced by. But I just get tired of politics.
Yeah.
Either side of the border. I haven't got much use for any of them.
I have
So-
no use for any of them.
I canceled my subscription.
Yeah.
So I no longer have a subscription to that. I am instead using the money to buy a Disneyland annual pass.
There you go.
They are doing payments again. They're a lot more than they used to be. They used to be $50. Now they're $118 a month. So, and I also shut off our telephone.
Well, you
So,
don't need it.
No, I haven't picked up that receiver in 5 years. So I have shut off the telephone because it's at the point where Frontier Communication is charging me $98 a month just to have the phone.
That's ridiculous.
I haven't made a call on that phone in 5 years, and they're charging me $98 a month just for it to sit there on the counter. So
Yeah, the hell with it.
it's done. We've all got cell phones. If you need to contact us, email, cell phone.
Exactly.
That's it. If you called that number, I wouldn't answer it anyway. So,
Yeah, all we get on our, there was one person who used to call our landline, and that was Larry's sister, Linda. Linda passed. So
so if that phone rings,
it's always going to
it's
be a
Linda.
telemarketer.
Or it's Linda.
Or it's Linda. Yeah, so.
Well, you see, I sent Melody an email almost in the middle of the night, or for me it was the middle of the night, because I had a dream, and it was a really weird dream. I was laying there in bed, and my door opened. I heard the noise a door makes when it opens, so I looked over, and there's in a horizontal striped brown and white shirt with dark hair and a dark beard was Melody's husband Larry. And he didn't say anything. He just held his hand up. Larry does that frequently when he just puts his hand up like to say hi. And that's what he did. and he walked over to the side of the bed where my wife used to sleep. And I woke up. But it was so real that I got up, turned the light on, looked around the room. It was, it was one of those where it was just very realistic. So I was afraid I had had some kind of premonition of something happening to Larry.
No, Larry's fine.
So I emailed Melanie or texted her and said, "Hey, you guys okay?"
We're fine. Yeah.
Very weird.
The minute you said you wrote that, I went, "You okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, I was asleep." And I said, "Then go back to sleep." He's fine.
Did you tell him that I dreamed
Yes.
about him?
Yeah. Yeah. He says, "Well, long as I wasn't a ghost."
I mean, what
So
was so, is him walking over to the side of the bed where
yeah,
Beverly.
I can see why that would have been, especially since when you have a visitation dream, usually the person who you're dreaming of is younger and they look more like they were when they were, you know.
Well, yeah, he looked like 20 years ago, Larry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's what Larry does. He'd come in the room and go like that. Although he should damn sure knock.
Well, I guess he figured I was in there by myself, so.
So he could walk in. But no, he's doing well, and I did have it. We had an interesting Belinda event. Um, Larry was outside on the back patio. We've been going out and swimming and stuff, and he he's out on the back patio, and our sliding glass door has this really annoying habit of locking itself when we close it. So Larry closed it and was outside and then went to go back in and it was locked. So he goes, "Oh, son of a." So he kept jiggling it, trying to see, and it was still dead locked. So, and this thing is not, you can't like nurse it open. When it locks, it's tight. So he goes over to the front of the building and to go in another door. And he walks in, and that sliding glass door is open like 2 feet. And he looked up and said, "Thanks, mate." Even he gets it.
Yeah, how else did it open?
Exactly. Nobody else was home. I was at the doctor, Laura was at work.
I think you guys should have somebody come out and fix that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I already called. They're coming over, but it takes a while to get help out right now because of the supply line thing. And I know.
I have my Saturn being repaired,
Oh,
replacing the mechanisms for the two rear windows. They went bad on me.
that's one of the first things that happens.
And the hood release thing broke off. So I got another one of those, and he's putting that on. And he's putting new rubber along the bottom side of the windows where they start going like that. So all fixed. And if you're on Facebook and you need parts for your Saturn, John Bozic, Bozic. He
Yeah,
has he has a Saturn group on Facebook and he sells parts.
and there's plenty of good people who sell things on Facebook. You just have to be careful of some of the shysters. They
Well, you
unfortunately, are in every avenue.
well, what these jerks do is they find a video of a product that looks really cool, and they put a thing on Facebook as if they make it and are selling it.
Yeah.
They really don't make it and they're not selling it, but God, I wish it would stop getting fuzzy. I don't know. Anchor. Don't buy an Anchor camera. I had my sister buy one, but oh well. I hope hers works better than mine. I like the picture when it's working, but
Yeah.
it just constantly refocuses.
Oh well.
But
It'll.
anyway, I sent Melanie a picture off of one they had on there. This artist made this thing of the Beatles and automated it to where they moved to the music. Their mouths move and their musical instruments, their hands play, and it was really cool. It was on YouTube.
Just
But
play.
these guys put a thing on there that they were selling this thing for $39. Now, you could, even if you really were making those, you couldn't possibly sell them for $39.
Hell no. Maybe
So,
$399.
nah, I don't even think that. And then there was another one. There was a group called JCW JCW Jazz Dioramas, and they made a 3 foot long 1/6 scale Batmobile, and they sold it on their website. They sold out, and they were $1,500. And now they're on eBay for up to $8,000. People selling them on eBay. And I posted a picture of one of them on last week's Flak. I don't know if you saw it or not,
Yeah, I did.
but and that's they were putting that on there that was $39. I mean, use common sense, people.
Yeah. Well,
You know they can't sell something like that for $39.
unfortunately, there's things like the Panasonic DR60, which is a handheld voice recorder that a lot of ghost hunters use for collecting EVP. And the it, for whatever reason, its high sensitivity makes it very easy to collect EVP with it. So if you look on eBay, the things go for $2,000 and $3,000 now. Even though originally I bought mine for $30, but the unfortunately, what's happening is people are creating fake fronts with 3D printers and putting it on top of recorders that aren't that thing, and making it look like it is, but it's not. And they're selling it for $3,000, and people are getting hoodwinked. Then they just close that eBay account and open another one.
Well, they open these phony accounts under stolen usernames.
Yes,
Like they'll have a username, they either create a completely phony account or they clone somebody's account.
yes. That's why so many clones happen.
And what Melody's talking about voice recorders. If you want a voice recorder, they don't make this anymore, but you can find them a lot on eBay. The Olympus DS40. A lot of reporters, radio reporters, use the DS40. And I used to use it on my podcast, my Disney podcast. I brought it with me. I had binaural microphones that I had. I had a hat, and I glued microphones over the top of my ears on both sides. And it used to make great binaural audio, which, I mean, you put headphones on and listen to my binaural audio, and you would think you were there because you could hear it just as if you were sitting there.
Wow.
And
Well,
uh,
that's good to know.
and I have a DS40, and I also have a Zoom H1, which is an older Zoom, but they work real good. The only bad thing about Zooms is they're kind of big.
Yeah.
The DS40 is like that long, and it's
That
real
was.
little, but they're not real sturdy. So if you're going to start using one, best thing to do is find two or three of them
Yes.
and put them
Buy a
away.
few.
Yeah, because if they're going to work about a year or so if you take real good care of it, and then they'll stop working.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the twin microphones, you plug them in up on top,
Yep.
and
Okay.
you know what? What I think I'm going to do is, why don't we just drag this out for another 10 or 12 minutes,
Okay.
and then I will play the other show that I put together next Sunday,
Okay. That sounds good.
because it's 32 minutes, so it's almost a full show.
Okay.
I might
Why don't
even
you
add on some stuff.
why don't you explain to the no people who no the people
Well,
watching over on
somebody
Twitch and
eventually
Twitter?
will be watching this.
Yes, they will.
We have people watch it.
We do.
I wouldn't
And
be doing it for 0 people.
no. We have a lot of people on Twitter. We have a few people on Twitch, so we have an audience. But why don't you tell everybody what you're planning with the direction of the show, because it's going to be slightly different.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I think there is a place out there for somebody to point out all of this fraudulent crap on Facebook and to warn people and steer you away from dealing with those kind of things. Those products are something. For instance, that 3 foot tall Batmobile. I would love to have a 3 foot long Batmobile, but I have nowhere to put a 3 foot long Batmobile. I
You
really
barely have
don't.
room for Barbie's dream house.
Yeah, I mean, Barbie's dream house is taking up a significant portion of my living room. Barbie's car, and there's about 30 Barbies in there in various states of disrobe. That's the first thing my granddaughter does is she takes all the clothes off.
Yeah, well, that tends to be the way. Yep.
Yep. So all the Barbies are nudists.
But
So
the
that's my intention for the show. And Melody's going to be out here with me every other week,
yep.
hopefully. And more often than that, if something comes up she wants to talk about, we'll try to put together special shows for the Oscars and the Emmys, and
Yeah.
you know, since this is supposed to be an entertainment show,
Yeah.
like I go deeply into our new camera. So next Sunday you'll see that, and I play a video of a review of our new camera, and this guy is just overjoyed with our new camera.
Good. So that means
We have
more work for you.
we have somebody laughing. Who is that?
Yes, we do.
Ha ha! Kim
Probably
Hull.
Yeah,
Yep.
I knew it was Kim. But
And it says we have a viewer called Fan Flak. I don't know who that would be.
yeah, it's probably me. Me. Hi, Kim. So
We should have Kim on the show.
Yeah, we should. We should interview Kim. At as always, tell us what you want to hear, what you want to see. We're going to stick to the same kind of topics, Mark is going to have an ombudsman section that he does, and
Protector Mark.
yeah, protector Mark, and the what's he gonna say? I'm getting old. These things happen.
But if you run across some kind of fraudulent crap, tell me about it. Send me
Yes,
a text. Let me know. Say, hey, these guys are doing such and such. And you can't trust anything on Facebook. Anything, anything, anything. I see ads on Facebook that are supposed to be Amazon.
yeah,
That are supposed to be Walmart. It says Walmart, but
yeah.
it's not really Walmart. Uh, what was it? What Neiman? Yeah,
Go
it
to
was
the
it.
site.
Neiman Marcus. There was a post on there pretending to be Neiman Marcus selling stuff.
Yeah,
And they reproduced the catalog and had that on there. It looked for all the world like you were dealing with, but you had to watch. And I'll tell you, there's little clues if you watch. Uh, they all of their web addresses end in ly, and that's that Chinese shopping thing. So watch for that. And they sell everything in a number that ends in 9. Watch for that.
yeah.
$39, $59,
Well,
$109.
that's a pretty common retail gimmick, though. It as if 29.99
Is
isn't as
cheaper
much
than
as
$30.
$30.
That's right.
But the the they're all kind. Unfortunately, the internet has made a whole new industry in theft, and you have to be very careful with any of the. Not to speak ill of the Chinese people. Chinese people are wonderful. They're just as nice as we are. Anyone is, but the industry there isn't as regulated as ours tries to be.
And it's
And,
India as well as
oh, India
China.
also, yeah.
In fact,
And
most of these phone calls you get from the IRS where
yeah,
you owe them money, if you listen to them, these people are not from the IRS.
and their name isn't Brian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I used to get phone calls all the time. Well, in fact, I would call Earthlink. I have had Earthlink for a long time. Right now, all I have left is the email address Earthlink, and they host my website.
Yeah.
I no longer have internet from Earthlink. They don't do that anymore very well. They try, but they really don't.
Like
And
AOL.
I would call Earthlink, and their helpline was in India. And this guy would answer in a very heavy Indian accent. And he would say, hello, my name is Bruce. And I'd say, look, I know your name isn't Bruce. What's your name? And he would not tell me. He insisted his name was Bruce. So,
I had
and
a lady call me the other day and say her name was Carolyn, and she could barely pronounce it. And I said, honey, your name is not Carolyn.
and I'll tell you a little clue. If you ever call the helplines for different electronic companies, insist you are having some kind of really complicated technical issue, and they will transfer you to the guy in the United States.
Yes,
That's what I
definitely.
would. That's what I would always do with Earthlink. I tell, oh well, the circuit board did this, something that this guy, he's got a book that tells him what, and you have to go by what it says in that book. And if you deviate from that book, then they transfer you to the guy here. So that's what you have to do.
Yeah, and the reality is that most of the time you're going to be talking to another country anyway, but every once in a while you luck out and get Ireland. I actually did one time. It's like, really?
Well,
But
when I called Epic Times to cancel my subscription, I was talking to somebody from here.
yeah, it
And
can
this
happen.
is a Chinese owned newspaper.
It's all global now.
Well,
But
they farm out their help stuff to us, I guess.
yeah, probably. Yeah, I want to tell one thing before we get off into other things. It is official. The Orville has been renewed for a new season. Um, they Disney is going all out and backing them up, and the last season was just amazing. It really is some of the best science fiction I have seen on television, and I've started watching Strange New World also. So only
Oh,
one episode.
that is the best Star Trek left.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a grand improvement over a lot of what I've seen. But
Discovery is so choppy, I couldn't keep up with the damn thing. Same
yeah,
thing with Picard.
yeah, Picard, it's in and out of uh, story holes like wormholes all the time, and it you have to almost have a scorecard to keep up with it. But the Orville is very complex, but um, it's full of all the goodness that you look forward to in emotionally rich tapestries as well as intellectually stimulating ones. So.
I thought it was a comedy.
No, not anymore. It's
Oh,
a little
okay.
bit of comedy, but it's not. It's more of a
It's not the farce that it started out being.
no, not at all.
Okay.
And it's, I mean, they have a wonderful storyline that just wouldn't happen on any other show, where the doctor, the female doctor, fell in love with the robot.
I thought
And
she
I'm
was
not
in love
talking.
with the. I thought she was in love with the Jello thing.
No, no, that was just a 1 day thing. The um, what their robot is Isaac is basically just metal and with a voice. Is it's not Data, who was cute. Okay, this you just look what, but then you have to see him as she sees him, and it's just a fascinating storyline. And they also have uh, oh, I could go on and on. It's really a fine show, and it
Well,
had yeah.
she was a regular the last 3 years on Deep Space Nine.
Oh, she was, yeah,
She
yeah,
played Cassidy Yates,
yeah,
Cisco's girlfriend.
yeah. I recognized her as having been on that. She's done a lot of stuff, but the where are we now? We are at
54.
54.
We
Okay.
can end anytime you want.
All right. Why do we do that now? I had sort of planned on not being here the whole way, so
I'm sorry. Melody's got things to do.
Melody has grandchildren to talk to.
Those
Who?
are more important. You go
Yeah.
do that.
All right. Well,
Uh,
right now it's an important thing. So
yes, it is.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
all right.
Tell all of them I said hi. Michael,
I
Sean,
sure
and
will.
Kenny.
Okay. Yeah, well, Kenny, he got himself a massive lollipop
I saw that. A kid's gonna have sticky fingers until he's 12.
forever. Yes. I know that comes because when Ben was about 5, we went into Knott's Berry Farm to do some Christmas stuff, and they have those big boysenberry all day suckers. Not as big as that one, but like that. And he would, oh, wow. And I bought him one. And I told him, I said, I know that was related to that. Paying it up or paying it forward. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much. Thanks to my big brother for taking things over and doing it as well as he does. And we will talk to you soon.
And thanks for coming on board, Kim.
Yeah,
And if you want to be on the show, let me know. We'll do it.
totally.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're going to call Richard too. It's time for him to be back.
Yeah, I like
Yep.
Richard.
Yeah, me too. All right, take it easy, guys.
And here, let me play us on out.
Okay.
Here we go. Bye.